Hello, everyone. My name is Jerónimo Sainz de Agüero. I'm from Mexico City, and I'm going to talk about queering clay ceramics. So there's a basic distinction we need to make between queering clay ceramics and queer clay ceramics. Queer clay ceramics is all the clay ceramics created by LGBTQIA identities. It includes an enormous array of stories, techniques, designs, and process that a lot of you know. And depending on the identity and the object, sometimes LGBTQIA plus clay ceramics can be cis-heternormative. When we talk about queering clay ceramics, it's clay ceramics created by some LGBTQIA plus identities, but also by heterosexual identities. And it's a process of design and production that doesn't follow the cis-heteronormative rules. Okay? So queering clay ceramics confronts, challenge, and answers from to a community that recognizes a system that has the capacity of normalization, exclusion, and ranking of identities based on their gender, their sexual orientation, their gender expression, and biology. The system dictates the quality and lifespan of people that doesn't behave as cis and hetero. The system is aligned with capitalism, with Eurocentrism, with racism, and so on. And luckily, there are ways to create with clay ceramics that no longer answers to this system. So I'm going to show you some of the pieces that I have created thinking about this way of production. And the first one is queering clay ceramics based on functionalities, creating objects that attend different ways and types of pleasure. And in this case, penetrative pleasure seen as something for everyone because everyone has mouth and anus. Okay, so these are the dildex. We use the X in Spanish for non-gender language. And these dildos were presented for the 10th Bienal de Cerámica Utilitaria Contemporánea de Jalapa. The other way is queering clay ceramics based on the process and creating pieces with process that doesn't follow the clay ceramics dogma. And this dogma is basically when all artwork and all ceramic pottery creation is fired and should be covered with glaze. And the more coverage, the better. Okay? So queering clay ceramics regarding process celebrates clay as not as an unfinished material, but a finished material that has beautiful concepts. And non-glaze ceramics, definitely, and really related with non-racist approaches towards clay ceramics and pottery, and celebrates experimentation and the use of what some people call waste and trash in studios and workshops, polluted materials, broken pieces, and so on. And this was Amarre from 2018. It was part of La Segunda Bienal de Cerámica Artística de Tijuana. And Amarre is created with on fire clay. It's just dry clay. And with this mecate that is a local organic fabric. And finally, I wanted to show you this piece that is a collaboration with Mercedes Orozco from Guadalajara, 6 hours away from Mexico City. It was presented in 2023 in Querétaro. And we wrote this text. From the cis, the hetero, and the masculine, there are many norms to follow. Design does not escape these instructions. For this installation, we decided to queer several rules of a vessel. One, the one piece, we propose a series of models to assemble stack to create the vessel. Two, verticality, constructive and directional freedom is triggered for the user. Three, functionality, we design absurd and anti-efficient models and assemblies. We have to lay on, hold, hug, support, and assemble. And four, aesthetics. We created a landscape of the apparently unpleasant, hair and folds, earth, and body. Towards the closure of the breakout session, what do queering clay ceramics approaches have in common? And I believe that we need to create a definition that is not built on the cis-heteronormative negation. And so diversity and care are concepts that I think we should include. And these two other amazing concepts that are called ternura radical and rabia radical. Ternura radical was proposed by Dani de Emilia and Daniel B. Chavez, are probably the solution towards a contemporary definition regarding queering clay ceramics. And we don't have yet the definition, therefore, we also need to think about how to create a history of queering clay ceramics. Definitely is not going to be a straight line history. So a web might be the solution, especially because many queering clay ceramics members or personalities have a strong relationship with other trades, especially the knitting and the textiles. How these queering approaches have been integrated in formal academic spaces, in which ways? especially because we're talking about identities that do not belong and have not been invited historically into these kind of spaces, and how these queering communities have been part and relate with anti-racist, anti-capitalistic, anti-patriarchy clay ceramic communities, which tools are shared with these communities to resist, survive, communicate, share, and commercialize. So thank you again for your time. Thank you to the Breakout Session Committee, Pim, David, and Janet for the selection. And if anyone has any comments, suggestions, ideas, complaints, please feel free to contact me at any time. I will be really happy to read you. Thank you very much. See you soon.